Well, today we're going to be talking about the subject of retiring with confidence, and we're going to come at that from a variety of different approaches. In this first segment, we're going to be talking about the biblical principle that we find in Luke 6:38 that gives us great confidence when we give. As a matter of fact, it reminds us that if we give, God is going to come alongside and He's going to become an ally in our own financial well-being. Here it is in Luke 6:38. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will it be put into your lap. For with the measure you use it will be measured back to you. So this is really interesting. There are a number of key principles here that give us real encouragement to be givers. Now look, no matter where you are in your personal beliefs, almost every society, almost every world religion, almost every part of that part of our culture which is good and right and honorable emphasizes giving, especially giving for those who have less in the way of material blessing. But notice the first principle we find here in this passage, and it is direct from the mouth of our Lord. He says, give. I would say principle number one in this verse is to make giving a part of your life. Don't make it just something irregular. Make it something that happens to occur when the feeling hits you, but rather look for opportunities to give. Most of us agree that the Bible, although it does not necessarily teach a tithe in the New Testament, it really carries forward a stronger principle than in the Old, where it's stated explicitly. In the New Testament, we're exhorted to be hilarious givers, to give generously, to give out of our abundance. I kind of view the principle of the tithe as an Old Testament sort of preschool kindergarten standard. And now that we're expected to live in the light of God's presence, in joy, with His divine enablement, His Spirit living in us, we should really rise to another level. So make giving a regular part of your life. Number two, although giving is a step of obedience and good stewardship, right, of the resources that God's entrusted to you, it also comes with great blessings for you personally. And I can lump these together into about 4 different ways that giving to others or giving to needs is going to be a blessing to you. Number one, the passage says, if you give, it will be given to you. So we know that the Lord is the one saying it. And although it's passive, it doesn't say who is doing the giving. We know that ultimately, no matter whether that comes from somebody we know or if it comes anonymously, it really is from the Lord. James tells us every good gift, every perfect gift comes down from above. So number one, you're going to receive back from the Lord. Number two, it's going to come in good measure. It says it's good measure, and it's going to come in a way that is really more than proportionate to what you have given. Sometimes we view giving as letting go of something that we might have used for ourselves, right? There's a little bit of a part of us where we kind of know, well, if I kept this, I could use it for another need that I personally have, right? But yet there's the need right in front of us, and we know God is telling us to meet it. Well, don't fear, right? It's going to be given to you. Now, we don't give merely to get back from God, right? There's a stewardship principle, there's an obedience principle, there's compassion and love for others. But know that you are going to receive back from the Lord. It may not be dollar for dollar. It may not be even financial. It may be another kind of blessing, a spiritual blessing. And then the passage tells us that it's going to amaze you the degree to which the Lord gives back to you. Listen to these expressions again. Not only will it come in good measure, but it's going to be pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Okay, so it's going to be compacted down so that God can just squeeze as much blessing into your life as He possibly can. He's going to shake that so that He can get the maximum amount of blessing to you, and it's going to just flow over. It's going to overwhelm you. I had this recently happen to me. A sweet friend of ours was in a financial need, and God spoke to me, and I wrote a check, and it was a bad time for us. It was a time when, we were in a spot when just economically, it would have been a lot better to just keep that money and use it for our own needs. But what a relief as I just listened to what God had to say and I wrote that check. And I said goodbye to those funds. I knew that God would bless us, but what I didn't know is that within a week, and this doesn't happen all the time, sometimes the blessings are less visible, less material, more spiritual in nature, and those are the greater blessings. But just to remind us sometimes of God's amazing power, his own generosity, and his love for those that he can use as instruments to be a blessing to others, God gave us back more than 4 times in unexpected money that came our way. Totally unexpected, completely unexpected. And although we didn't see it coming, we knew God would take care of us. We had peace in that. We had joy. It was a blessing. But what an amazing thing that God did. And it will amaze you what degree God will use to give to you. And then he also says this, he kind of summarizes it, for with the same measure you use, it will be measured back to you. So I think that's not just the size, because it looks to me in the verses like we're generally going to see a lot more come back than we give. But I think it's just talking about not only the size, but the measure of generosity, the spirit of it, the compassion of it is going to come back to you through others and through the direct hand of God himself. And so here's the stewardship principle today, is learn the blessing of giving. That's the financial principle. If you want to be successful financially, if you want to have a happy, enjoyable, financially prosperous, what we call a financially independent retirement, then what you're going to want to do is learn how to give it away. And you are not going to be disappointed. Let me tell you what financial independence means, though. For those who are striving for that, it means that we want you to be financially independent so you can do amazing things for God through you with these bountiful resources that he keeps putting back into your hands and at your disposal. And what we do is we're just meeting with folks all the time, just like you. And maybe there's a sense of fear, what's the world going to be like? What about these things going on outside of my control in politics and international wars and in our financial markets and inflation and on and on and on? And although that may be a concern to you, what we're going to do is we're going to come alongside you and help alleviate that concern by building a plan for you to achieve financial independence so you can enjoy that retirement without worry. And we're going to do that based on principles like the one we discussed today, right out of the Bible. I'd love to talk to you more about this. I'd love to have the opportunity to hear about what's important to you, what concerns you, and come alongside in a simple phone call and figure out maybe how we can help you.